Today we are going to be talking about a simple and easy day trading strategy that can be used to start making profits in the day trading world right away. I am a futures trader. I trade NQ, MNQ, primarily I've used all different kinds of websites like Apex and Topstep. I've even used my funded futures a little bit, and I even trade a personal account, and this strategy can be used for any of those. That's a great thing about this strategy. It's beginner friendly. It's easy to pick up. There's still a lot of nuance to it and a lot of ways to master it and personalize it and really make it your own and really get the full potential out of this. But even right off the bat, just simple and easy trading strategy to pick up that can be used to pass combines, to use on funded accounts, to get payouts. It can be used on personal accounts. It can be used all over the place. So I want to talk about this strategy today. And obviously it's something that probably a lot of people have heard of, but I think there's even better ways to explain it. And this is going to be the opening range breakout. So I actually used this strategy perfectly today, and I think it worked out awesome today. So I wanted to show you guys today's charts. This is December 2nd of 2025. Right now we're looking at the pre-market of NQ. Now I'm going to fast forward 1 minute and it's going to show us the 9:30 candle. Okay, so here we go. This is the market open. This candle right here, this big red candle with the long wicks, that is going to be our 9:30 candle, and that is going to set up a lot to do with this simple and easy trading strategy. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to let the 9:30 candle play out all the way. I'm not doing anything in the pre-market. I know some people like to look at the pre-market or trade the pre-market, whatever. I typically don't do anything until 9:30. I wait and see what the market open has in store. Now, again, some people with their opening range breakout, they don't even trade off the 9:30 candle. They don't really even care. Some people wait, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour to really get a full range, whatever. I am actually very, very interested in this very, very first 1 minute candle. So off of this 1 minute candle, I'm going to set up some things on my chart. I'm going to set up these horizontal lines, or you can do horizontal rays or whatever, or you can also do this in your head. You don't even need to physically put this on your chart, but I'm just showing you guys for the visuals. Is I'm going to set up these horizontal lines on this 9:30 candle. I'm going to go to the wicks. This is going to show us where this candle moved to, where everything played out. I meant to drag this down a little bit here, but this is going to, be our first real important levels of the day, this 9:30 candle. Now, I'm not taking a trade at 9:30. I'm waiting till at least 9:31 before I do anything. But once 9:31 hits, that's when our trades and our entry criteria are going to start being in place. So starting at 9:31, that's where things are going to get important. Now, we can fast forward to this 9:31 candle, and already something very, very important has happened. Again, you can see we set up this blue line. We set up this important level from where the market went to right at open. And you can see this second candle, this green candle here, it wicked below our blue line. And this is interesting and important, because obviously it started to go down below that blue line, which could mean, hey, look out, you want to short, it's going down, we're going to take this opening range breakout to the downside. But that's not what I did. I stayed patient. I waited. And initially this candle broke down below our blue line, but then it came back up and it wicked below that opening range. It actually swept that opening range and then started going back up. So what I would do in real time is, this is one potential opening. This is one potential way you could get entered into this trade or use this, opening range breakout, whatever. Yes, opening range breakout can mean, hey, we broke out to the downside, we're going down, but you can also set these levels and trade between them as well. And that is also something very, very interesting I've used from trading this strategy, every single day, and trying and tribulations and all this different stuff. But as soon as we swept the downside here and didn't break it, we swept the downside and went back up, you can actually be patient, wait and see actually how the market's moving, wait and see, make sure that candle's actually going up. But especially once we started to get back to, the end of this wick at the bottom of this red candle, once we started to get up into this territory, I think you could definitely enter a long here, and you can see that the market did kind of continue to go up. Now, if I didn't actually end up taking this trade. I actually waited a little bit longer, but I definitely think this is a trade that would have been valid. We swept the lows, we started going up, and I think you could have entered anywhere in here, and my price target would have been at this blue line here. You can take, a sweep of the low of the market open, and you can take it back up to the top of where that other wick went to. Now, you can have, higher profit goals or whatever. You can go to, some kind of local high like here. You could go to a local high like here. You could have some kind of dollar amount price target, if you're in a combine or if you need to get to a certain amount of profit or whatever. That is very, very possible. But now, I want to fast forward even a little bit further to see what the next candle did. Obviously, you can see here, this next candle actually took us up to this blue line. So again, once we swept the lows here, once we started going up, if you would have entered somewhere down here, or even a little bit higher up here as you got more and more confirmation, you could have taken this trade all the way up to our blue line, our beginning of that 1 minute opening range, and you could have gotten full profit on that trade. Now, we can see, obviously, we got all the way up to that blue line. We kind of swept the highs here, and we didn't hold above. So now at this point, I was just kind of waiting. Now, again, you could say, hey, we swept the highs. You could want to go down, but I don't want to get in this, ping pong of taking a long, then taking a short, then taking a long, then taking a short. I would rather be patient. I would rather wait. There's an adage in investing that's like, it's better to be late than to be wrong. So I want to wait it out, but I already do think that right off the bat during this day, again, this was not a trade that I took, but I think this is a very valid trade. We swept the low here. We go back up to the top of the 1 minute opening range. That was great. You could have made a lot of money. That could have been a very, very nice trade. We swept the bottom of this at like 25,473, and we went all the way up to 25,501. So that's a nice little trade there. That's a very, very solid trade. That, for some people, that's their entire day of trading right there. You could have been done, 2 or 3 minutes into the market open. But if we fast forward a little bit more, we can now see our next candle. Things start to explode. Things start to get pretty crazy. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Things start going up fast and fast and fast. So again, here we have our opening range candle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. It has now been 4 minutes. And again, I haven't set up anything else. I'm not going based off anything else, but we did explode very, very strongly through our 1 minute opening range that we set up. And now that we've seen a strong confirmation that we've broken through this 1 minute opening range, this is actually the trade I took. This is when I entered. I didn't enter here when we, swept the highs and then kind of came back down. Weren't really sure what we're doing. I entered after we saw this very, very strong confirmation that we were going through. And I entered this on a ton of stuff. I entered this on an Apex funded account. I entered this on a ton of Apex combines. I entered this on a ton of Topstep combines. I entered this on my personal account. I was very, very confident in this trade. I'm very, very confident in this strategy. I, kind of went all out on this trade, and we can see that from here, things went very, 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 very well. I mean, this trade went crazy. We have to zoom out a ton to even get this whole thing to fit on the charts. We can zoom out a little bit here, but you can see after we broke this 1 minute opening range, we continued to go up and up and up. And as we went up and up and up, I actually started to trail my stop loss a little bit. I ended up putting my stop loss, somewhere up in here, like probably at the bottom of this wick. It kind of went up and down, and then eventually I ended up getting stopped out. But again, this was a very, very good trade that helped me pass a bunch of Apex combines. It helped me get day one of some new Topstep combines. It helped me get full profit on my Apex funded account that I have going. It helped me get full profit for my daily goal in my personal account. I took this on everything, and it worked out perfectly. So this was just an example of an opening range breakout that you can take even off the first 1 minute candle of the day. There was 2 very, very good setups here. Again, I love this setup where we swept the low of the 1 minute opening range that we set up, and then we went up, which you could have then cashed out here, or you could have let it run until, you get stopped out, or until you get to your profit goals or whatever. And then I also think this candle here, this fourth candle where we really smashed through that 1 minute opening range that we set up very, very strongly with confidence, with volume, with strength, with momentum, and carrying that momentum all the way up. Then after that, we kind of chopped around for a little bit. So I really think these were the first 2 really, really good trades of the day to take. And again, this is something you can do every single day. And there's, like I said, there's a ton of nuance here. You could have taken this first trade. You could be somebody that trades between these lines, which I think is very, very valid. You could be somebody that waits for things to break out one way or another between these lines. And then, of course, this isn't going to work out every single day. This was, again, I wanted to show this in the video because it worked out very, very well today. We set up that 1 minute opening range. It smashed through it. We hit full profit. Everything's great. But some days it'll chop around a little bit more. Some days it'll try to fake you out. Some days it'll go up and down. That's why I'm saying you need to be patient. That's why it's very, very important. But then also as the day goes on, you can set more and more and more opening ranges. That's why I like starting with the 1 minute, because then you have different options. You can set the 1 minute opening range. You can set the 5 minute opening range. You can set the 15 minute opening range. You can do the 30 minute. You can do the hour. You can start to give yourself more ranges to play with and see, the different areas that the market is going to be trading between. That's going to give you different options and stuff like that. And again, every day, is it going to work out perfectly? No, I definitely have days where I take losses. No trading strategy has a 100% win rate or anything like that. But on the days, well, first of all, this has edge. So you're going to consistently, this is going to work more often than it doesn't. And like I said, it's going to work for all different things, personal accounts, Apex, Topstep, My Fund of Futures, whatever prop firm you're using, personal accounts, whatever. It works for all different things, and I really think that's great. But it's also, like I said, very simple. At its core, it's simple. You find an opening range, you set it up, you trade between the lines, or you trade outside the lines with momentum and with confirmation, and when things are really, really moving quick. That's why I like doing this right at open. That's why I like doing it off the 1 minute, because the market's very, very volatile at the beginning of the day, and then, like I said, it kind of starts to cool off throughout the day as it goes on. But then you also have levels that are set throughout the day as well. You can see here, Later on in the day, the market ends up, staying up here, it ends up trading back down. If we would have set 5-minute levels or whatever, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's where the 5-minute level would have been. I think this is actually pretty interesting. If we draw the horizontal line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we draw the horizontal line right here, we see that eventually the market would have came like right back down and almost bounced off our 5-minute perfectly and then gone back up. So you have a lot of different things you can do. Like I said, if you want to trade all day long, there's a lot of ways. If you want to just be real quick, one and done, you have ways to do that. But I think this is a very, very simple and easy day trading strategy that I know can get you guys profits, and it's a great way to get started. I know there's a million different strategies out there, and I've tried a million different things, and certain strategies work during certain markets and certain times, whatever. But the opening range breakout is kind of a tried and true method that's very, very simple, very easy to get started. I think it's very beginner friendly, and it's something that I use today to have a very, very successful day trading NQ. And yeah, maybe you guys will be able to get some results for yourself. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.